Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. Today we have a battle against Al, aka Abomination. We battled him a couple of times now, both on BDSP and Sword and Shield. I believe this is actually our third game on BDSP, so he always brings some interesting teams to battle. So we're going to see what he has on deck for us today. So, we agreed to a pretty low tier match here, and as you can see, he is bringing a really cool and interesting team. So yeah, as you can see, I am using the same team that I've been using the past few games here. So, we just want to make a quick note of his team, of course, because we don't want to forget. And so then we want to decide what we want to lead with here. That is a good question, actually. I think the best option we have is actually going to be the Marowak. So that is what we're going to do. And we'll see how that works out. So it is always a fun time with him to battle, so he is going to go ahead and lead with the Mill Tank as we lead with the Marowak. So that's not terrible, I guess, depending on what set he's got going on. So yeah, turn one here, I'm not exactly sure what he's going to want to do, but I think what we're going to want to do is go ahead and set some Stealth Rock up. So that is exactly what we are going to do, since we expect a lot of switching in this game. Which is kind of the usual. So yeah, he's going to go ahead and throw his Stealth Rock up too, so pretty standard opening turn here, trade Stealth Rock, just kind of is what it is there. So yeah, unfortunately we don't have a way to remove hazards, so that just kind of is what it is for us. So I don't know if we really want to stay in anymore on this thing. Again, we don't really know what set he's running, obviously, so but the question becomes, what do we want to switch into this thing? Because we really don't have a great, we don't have a normal type resistance or immunity, unfortunately. So, you know, we might actually want to stay in, just looking at the matchups that Marowak has against the rest of his team. I think we're just going to actually, on second thought, we're going to stay in and fire off an Earthquake, see how much damage we can get. He's just going to go for a Body Slam here, so that is not going to do too much to us, actually. We are max HP. We're going to hit him with an Earthquake in return, which is going to do a truckload of damage to this thing, thanks to the thick club and being max attack. So he is going to regain some HP with the leftovers there, and so yeah, he's sitting at about a quarter HP now. He could definitely Milk Drink, and he also has some switches to the Earthquake, so unfortunately I think we just have to Earthquake, because if he Milk Drinks, another attack is not going to be enough to take him out, so we're just going to click Earthquake again, and he is in fact going to go for the switch, so we perhaps could have predicted that, but didn't want to make a big risk early. So he is going to go ahead and come in with the Meganium, which is not great for us, obviously. He is going to take the Stealth Rock damage. We're going to hit this thing with an Earthquake, which actually does a pretty decent amount, knocking this thing to about half. So yeah, now we are going to be in an interesting situation, because we may not want to stay in on this matchup. However, he definitely could attempt to set up on us here, and that would be pretty bad if in fact he did that. So I think what we're going to do, we kind of have a risky turn ahead of us here, so pretty much anything we do is going to be a sizable risk at this point, but I think we're going to stay in and go Stone Edge, predicting him to do something like that. So he goes for the Leech Seed, so yeah, he does hit that. We're going to go Stone Edge, and we hit, thankfully. Is it enough? Yes, the Stone Edge is enough to go ahead and get rid of that Meganium and knock him down to 5, so that is pretty incredible for us. Definitely something that could have been a nuisance out of the way early. So Marowak is doing some good work early here, and yeah, that is good for us. So we'll see what he wants to bring in response. And he is definitely taking his time thinking about this one, as this could definitely be a pretty critical decision for him. So he is going to come in with the Luminion. He does take some Stealth Rock damage there. Now, I really don't know what to expect from this thing, to be completely honest, since we are playing pretty much the lowest tier available, so you don't see much of these Pokemon at all, really, very often. But you know what? I think we're actually going to want to save Manectric, or I'm sorry, we're going to want to save the Marowak for later now. But what do we want to bring in? I think the best thing we can bring in to face this thing is going to be the Poliwrath, so that's what we're going to do. Again, don't really know exactly what this thing could be packing, but we're going to find out. So there's the Poliwrath. We do take the Stealth Rock damage, and he is going to go U-turn, so he's going to go ahead and get that chip, ever so slight chip there, and of course the pivot. So that's pretty good for him because it does give him a matchup against us. So yeah, we'll see what he wants to bring in on that matchup, and yeah. It is going to be the Manectric, so I was kind of figuring he would do that. So we are going to take some Stealth Rock, or he is going to take some Stealth Rock damage there, and we're going to get some HP back with the leftovers. So we don't really want to stay in on this matchup, as Poliwrath looks pretty good against his team. But yeah, we do have 2 electric immunities on deck, so he could very easily predict us to come in with one of the 2. So yeah, the question is, what play is he going to want to make here, and what risk do we want to take is the other question. So it would be definitely very obvious switching into either the Marowak or the Manectric of our own here. So I think rather than do that, we're actually going to go ahead and switch in with the Grumpig. So we're going to try and scout what he wants to do here, and hopefully the over-predicting doesn't bite us. But yeah, there it is, and we are going to take the Stealth Rock damage first and foremost, and he is going to Flamethrower, so that's actually worked out pretty well for us. We barely take any damage from that, actually. We are max HP, and then he is going to take some Life Orb damage. So that is pretty good for us, actually, and then we're going to get some HP back with the leftovers. So at this point, we could definitely try to set up on this thing. I don't know if we want to, but yeah, it might be a little early for that, so we're actually just going to go ahead and go for a Psychic here to try and hit whatever he leaves in as hard as possible. He is going to go for a Volt Switch, so that is actually going to do quite a bit of damage, knocking us down to about a third. He is, of course, going to take that Life Orb Recoil again, and then he is going to get the Pivot. So he is going to be switching something in to take a Psychic from us, and he doesn't really have anything that's going to appreciate that, so he does come in with the Luminion once again, and yeah, he is going to take the Stealth Rock, as we do hit this thing with a max special attack Psychic, and it actually does a good amount, but yeah, not enough, as he does get some HP back from the leftovers, first actually revealing he is going to be faster than us, and then we get some HP back with our leftovers as well. So yeah, I don't know at this point. We might actually just want to go ahead and stay in here, because he definitely could pivot again. So I think the best play we have is just to stay in and Psychic again, so that's what we're going to do, as he does indeed just go for the U-turn, and we do survive that with 27 HP in the red, which is good news for us. He does get the pivot again, but again he is going to have to bring in something to take a max special attack Psychic from us, which he doesn't really have a lot that's going to appreciate that, so we should get a good hit off on whatever he brings in here. As he doesn't have a resistance or an immunity to Psychic attack on his team. So, yeah, we'll see what he wants to do here. And so he is going to come in with the Manectric, so that was a risky play on his side. He is going to take Stealth Rock once again, and we are going to nail this thing with the Psychic. Is it going to be enough to take it out? Yes, that Psychic will take out that Manectric and go ahead and drop him to 4 Pokemon, so that is another big shot off for us, as we do get some HP back with the leftovers, which does put Grumpig above the threshold from walking slowly to walking quickly, so that's always fun. Now he's going to come back in with the Miltank, so the only bad news about this is he could very well try to heal up here. He is going to outspeed us more than likely, but still I think the best play we have is just to go Psychic again, so that's what we're going to do. And he does Milk Drink, unfortunately, so he's going to go ahead and get some HP back there. He's going to be back up to almost full. We're going to hit him with a Psychic in return. And that is going to do a lot of damage, actually. It's going to put him right back down to the same range he was, about a quarter, even after the Leftovers recovery. So he knows he might not be able to play that game. So now we're going to have an interesting decision, because we could keep playing that game and play it safe, or we could roll the dice, take a risk, and attempt to hit a Focus Blast. And I don't know if I'm feeling lucky or not, but you know what? I think we're actually just going to go for it. We're going to go for that Focus Blast and hope it doesn't turn into Focus Miss. But no, actually, we may not get the chance to find out, because he's going to go Body Slam this time around. And that is actually just going to go ahead and take our Grumpig out and knock us to 5. So he realized he wasn't going to win that War of Attrition there, so he made the smart play, taking us out, dropping us to 5. But the good news is, with that, we are going to get a switch in to whatever we want here. So I think, what do we want is the question. You know what? I think it might be time to go ahead and unleash the mascot. So that is what we're going to do. Bring in the shiny Pidgeot to this situation. So we are going to take the Stealth Rock damage there, unfortunately. But now we are in. And so, yeah, I think it's time to go ahead and fire off a Choice Banded Pluck. So that is what we're going to do here. And we do outspeed this thing. And we actually do not get quite enough damage to finish the Miltank off, despite being Choice Banned. He goes Body Slam. He actually gets the Paralyze. So that is really unfortunate for us there. That is a pretty... that is a really bad turn of events for us, as he does get some HP back with the Leftovers. So yeah, that is a really inopportune Paralyze there for us, because now we cannot outspeed and take him out with another one. So yeah, now what do we want to do is the question. And yeah, I think, I think we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to take a little bit of a risk here. Or do we want to? That is going to be, you know what, I really don't know. We could take a risk and come in with the Manectric here, but that would indeed be a risk. You know what, I think we're going to go for it. We're going to take a risk here, and we're going to try to switch the Manectric in, thinking he's going to maybe want to heal here. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, and we're going to come in there and take the Stealth Rock damage, of course. And he is going to Milk Drink, so we do get the prediction there, which is good. But unfortunately, that is going to put him back up to, after the Leftovers recovery, about 2/3 HP. So that is definitely not good for us. So yeah, I think at this point we're pretty much forced to go for a... well, actually, we could... we do have a couple of options here. We could go for a switcheroo to saddle this thing with a Choice Specs, or we could Volt Switch. He does still have the 1 electric immunity on deck, so that would be a little bit of a risk. But you know what? I think we are just going to go for it. We're going to go Volt Switch here and see what he wants to do. And unfortunately, he doesn't stay in, so that sucks. And he is going to come in with the electric immunity, the Camerupt. So he does take the Stealth Rock damage. And yeah, Volt Switch not going to do anything. And then he is going to get some HP back with the Leftovers. So yeah, that risk did not pay off, unfortunately, and we can definitely not stay in on this matchup. So unfortunately, I think the best thing we can do here is go ahead and switch in the Pidgeot, basically as fodder. It is low HP and paralyzed, so unfortunately not much the mascot's going to be able to do in this one. So we do come in with the Pidgeot, and we are going to take Stealth Rock, just barely surviving that with 11 HP. He goes Earth Power, and not going to affect us, actually, so that's something, as he does get some HP back with the Leftovers. So we might be able to fire off one more big shot with Pidgeot if, in fact, well, you know, we might be able to get one more turn depending on if we can still outspeed this thing and or break through the paralysis. So we're actually going to attempt to set up a tailwind here on the way out and see what happens. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So we do actually outspeed, so we are going to get a tailwind up. So that's actually pretty positive. He's going to go ahead and hit us with a lava plume in return, which is of course going to be enough to go ahead and take our Pidgeot out and drop us down to 4. But that's kind of okay because Pidgeot actually getting the tailwind up is actually huge for us. So we're going to go ahead and come in with Poliwrath now. And we are going to take that Stealth Rock damage. So I think at this point, based on what he has left, we could definitely try to set a bulk up here. I would imagine he's probably not going to want to stay in on this matchup. So we're actually going to go ahead and try to bulk up here. We know we're going to outspeed, obviously, and indeed he does go for the switch, and he's going to be coming in with the Lumineon once again. He does take that Stealth Rock damage, and then we are going to get a bulk up off, which is pretty nice. That's going to give us that +1 attack and defense, and then we are going to get some HP back with the leftovers. So that worked out pretty well for us. He's also going to get some HP back with the leftovers too. So I don't think we want to get greedy this turn here. I think we want to just go ahead and go straight for the Drain Punch. No reason not to, so that's what we're going to do. And we definitely outspeed him, hit him with the Drain Punch, and from that range, that is going to go ahead and finish off that Lumineon as we gain the rest of our HP back from the Drain Punch. And yeah, that is pretty great. That's going to go ahead and knock him down to 3. So yeah, and our Tailwind is still up, so that's good news. So, we'll see what he wants to bring in response. So he is running low on options to deal with the Poliwrath, which is of course great for us. But he is definitely thinking about this one. I believe his 2 best answers to Poliwrath are gone at this point, so Poliwrath is actually looking pretty nice, especially at +1 attack and defense. So now he's going to go ahead and come in with Miltank again and take some Stealth Rock damage, which is an awfully risky play on his side. So yeah, no reason not to just go for the Drain Punch here. That's exactly what we're going to do. He's actually going to pull a double switch here, probably just trying to waste turns of the Tailwind. So he comes back in with the Camerupt, takes that damage from the Stealth Rock. We do nail this thing with the Drain Punch, which will knock it down to about 1/4 HP. And then he is going to regain some HP with the leftovers, and that is going to be it for the Tailwind. So it is what it is. So yeah, now at this point, I think honestly, we might as well just go Drain Punch again. We're sitting at +1. We don't want to waste it. And he is just going to stay in. We do outspeed, of course. And Drain Punch will go ahead and take care of that Camerupt for sure and knock him down to 2. So Poliwrath putting some nice work in here late game. And yeah, that is great for us. So we will see what he wants to do. He is going to come back in with the Miltank here, and he's going to take that Stealth Rock damage. So not sure what he's planning, but we're just going to go ahead, stay in, and click Drain Punch again and see what happens. Now he's going to outspeed us thanks to the Tailwind being over. He goes Body Slam. Not going to do much thanks to the defense boost and us being max HP. He was probably fishing for a Paralyze, but he doesn't get it. We go Drain Punch in return, and that will definitely take that Miltank out from that range and go ahead and knock him to just 1 Pokemon, as we do get more HP back from the Drain Punch and the leftovers, putting us all the way back up to full. So Poliwrath really cleaning up here. He's only got 1 left, and that is going to be the Croconaw. So he is going to come in, take some Stealth Rock damage. Not really sure what this thing can do, honestly. But honestly, no reason to not just go for another Drain Punch here, so that's what we're going to do. He actually does outspeed us, and he goes Dragon Dance, so I guess that's what this thing can do. So he's going to go ahead and get that +1 attack and speed as we go Drain Punch in return, and it is not quite enough, actually, to take this thing out. as it knocks him into the red. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and switch it up this turn to Poison Jab, actually, and see what happens as he goes Rock Slide. I guess that's the best move he has for us. Not going to do too much damage, and no flinch. He was probably fishing for that. We go Poison Jab in return, and that is going to finish off the Croconaw. So that is game. Alright, so we're going to get a 4-0 win there against Al. That was actually a really fun match. Very competitive, lower tier match there, and yeah, love to see it. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So, that's it, and we'll see you next time.